Hey, we are live. Welcome to Lock and Load, the Monday night, late night, or not as late as they used to be. Chat where we talk about guns, freedom, and the truth until dawn. Okay, I forgot to turn off the damn external. So anyway, my Spartan Commander sword has arrived. It's pretty, looks like a fun. I can't wait to bash something up with it. Show it to you guys real quick if I can find the camera button. Again, comes with kind of a interesting sheath, for lack of a better word. But there it is. I don't have the exact length. You could look it up on Bud K. I'm sure it has the length, but it's kind of weighted forward. Look at all this in the belly of the blade right here. This is a false edge. I mean, the rest of it's got one sharp side edge right here along here. It's all sharp. And it's a heavy one. It's weighted forward. And if you want to bash something up, this will do it. It's basically the sword from 300 where Gerard Butler plays King Leonidas, and I need a shield to go with this though. And that's the Battle of Thermopylae, where the legend is the brave 300 Spartans fought off millions of Persians and held them at the pass known as the Hot Gates, and made them pay before a hunchback trader named Ephialtes showed the Persians King Xerxes the secret pass around the Hot Gates. And ever since that day, Ephialtes has meant in Greek disaster. So anyway, so it's a legendary. It was a pretty good film if you like that kind of medieval battle, and it was on sale at Bud K for $20, and I could not pass up this much of a steel, a high carbon steel for $20. It was like a no-brainer. Picked up a couple other minor things, but this thing is just a lot of whoop ass. If you don't want to, if you want to save ammo, it'll definitely screw shit up. So we had a lot of drama last week, but wanted to cut to some serious stuff on some of the new things that you can take action on, which I put in the description. Let me do a screen share real quick, if I can find it. Here we go. They've got the Firearms Policy Coalition has got a link where you can just put in your contact your local congressman in the House or senators in the Senate, and either support this Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act of 2017, if that's what you want to do. I think I hear Dusty.
Hello, could you guys hear me over my noise?
Yeah, but you're noisy as heck.
Well, I'm not surprised, but...
How you doing, Dusty?
Pretty good.
And also...
playing in the combine.
Oh, that's why it's loud. Yeah, I saw the picture you sent on the cell phone, the video. It's pretty cool. But I think that I'd prefer to have Bitcoin over soybean if that's what you sent me. Because last time I checked, soybean hasn't gone up 1,000% this year, and Bitcoin has.
Yeah, but my soybeans are guaranteed.
Well, Bitcoin is guaranteed by math, but I wanted to talk about a couple of bills first before we go off on the crypto deep end. God, I gotta mute you. This is live TV Combine. Dusty muted himself. Thank you. But I did want to get a couple. I gotta mute him. That Combine is just too noisy to do a live show with. Sorry, brother. As soon as you can, as soon as you can actually talk without the Combine, it'll be great to have you. But that's like way too much background noise people have to listen through. But I did want to talk about this bill we got here. Let's see. It's well, the Concealed Reciprocity Act. Some people are for this, and some people that are pro-gun are against it. Also, has to do with states' rights and stuff. I'm not sure I understand the argument, but living in a place, I would love to be able to get a CCW in a state like Florida or Utah and then have it be valid here in Hawaii. I can't carry my Spartan Combat Commander sword around. I mean, I probably could actually, but it's kind of a heavy blade to carry around everywhere. When King Leonidas had it, I mean, he knew he was going to war, so or with his 300 bodyguard. But so a CCW, if this thing, you can go on to Firearm Policy Coalition, and basically there's you just fill out your name, address, email, and zip code, and they'll send it to your the senator for this one. And there's you could click on the House Companion Bill in the House, and contact your congressman or woman. And I really like the Firearms Policy Coalitions, the stuff they put out for supporting these bills. And here's one called the Ammo Ban, where this is a really dumb law that they're trying to, like, basically they require gun dealers to report anyone who purchases over 1,000 rounds in a single week. So if you buy one case, the gun shop, from a gun shop, you just buy a case of 223 or 762, then the gun shop would have to report you to the police. So what the police would do with that information is beyond me, because it's not illegal to buy 1,000 rounds. This is just more reporting. And so you get to be on another, you were reported for buying too much ammo. And obviously the gun manufacturers would start making cases that had 999 rounds instead of 1,000. Of course, why the gun dealer just couldn't take out 2 rounds or something, or 1 round out of it and not have to report you is beyond me. But I guess all gun control laws are stupid, and this one is one of those that takes the cake. It's like, how many rounds can you have in a magazine? How many rounds can you buy? I mean, our normal case is 1,000. So I don't know if it's over 1,000 or 1,000, but these laws don't make any sense to me. So Firearm Policy Coalition has these they take action that you can just put on your name and let your opinion be known. Even if, like me, you live in a state where they aren't going to really listen to me, most of the representatives are too far left to go against the liberal leadership in the House and Senate, Pelosi and Schumer. At least they'll know you're out there when the next election rolls around, and maybe they won't be so blatantly gun grabby, for lack of a better word. And so this is just if everybody could, like, stop everything and fill out whichever, if they think these are a good idea. Either the CCW supporting the CC Act or opposing the same particular ammo ban in the House. Then you will have done your good Second Amendment pro freedom deed for the day, I think. So I was really hoping Dusty could come on and actually we could have a conversation. But let me stop presenting.
I don't know what he's doing driving around that combine in the dark.
Can he harvest in the dark?
Well, there's nothing to harvest. It's winter.
I don't know anything about.
Somebody tell Dusty it's winter.
He's a farmer. He's supposed to know these things.
I'll send him a text. Hey man, I don't know if you know this, but
it's winter.
Nothing is growing.
Well, I mean, soybeans grow underground. I don't know. I don't know anything about farming. Just scratch whatever I said about farming.
I don't know. Okay, so he grew soybeans this year. He might not grow them next year. He might rotate his crops.
So there was a panic. There was panic buying of Bitcoin in Korea this morning.
Okay, now my back. I'm listening.
You're back just in time for Bitcoin.
Oh no! Well,
oh no!
Now, Hawaii, you probably created that panic over there. You're going to watch this.
How can I cause a panic in Korea?
I don't know. You picked up the phone and called long distance.
Now, I think got somebody there named Kim Jong-un who they can panic about, and Samsung problem with their Galaxy batteries and phones and stuff. Their leadership being, I mean, the last president was like on trial for some political corruption deal. So I got plenty of stuff to be panicked about. But anyway, all the Koreans were panic buying Bitcoin. It was over $10,000 a coin in Korea today. It's over 13,000 in Zimbabwe, but who cares about that? In America, it almost hit 10,000 on the U.S. exchanges. So, wait. So why are you using a combine in the dark? Just for the record.
Why
Dusty.
not? I need to get.
You need to get what?
Let me see if I can show you what I'm doing. Camera on. Okay, can you guys see what's going on here at all?
No, I just see your. Oh, now I do. Yeah, I see your combine. Oh, you got headlights on your combine.
At Dusty, nothing's growing this time of the year. What?
It's web. Basically, I cut them and run them through the machine.
You still have some up? It was 30 degrees this morning.
Huh? Yes.
Robot alert.
Well, let's just say this is the lay beans.
Okay, you're gonna need to explain this when you have a better connection because it's just.
I think his combine and his soybeans is similar to your faucet and your Bitcoin. You guys are both mining for something.
I turned off the mining for the show and restarted because it was a system update anyway. So, but yeah, I'm mining on my laptop. I've got my cloud mining and it doesn't interfere because it's off right now. It's really, the question is not how high Bitcoin will go, but it's how low fiat currency will fall. But all the business channels were talking about it today. Nobody was talking about soybeans, except Dusty, who was texting me. Okay, I can't listen to that roboting sound anymore. But for some reason I am.
The mute feature's not working.
Yeah.
There we go.
Google Hangout. Oh, you muted yourself.
Yeah, well, no, the combine's not too loud unless you got your volume up, but there is, there's roboting right coming right behind the rhythm of the engine. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It might be because out there the signal is not very strong. I mean, depending on where you are on the farm, your cell phone will or will not work.
Or maybe the soybeans are fighting back. They don't want to be harvested yet. It's too cold. I don't know anything about how to grow a soybean or what one even looks like. So how come we can't keep him muted?
Did you
I got.
did you watch the videos I sent you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I got your text.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing right now, except for I was doing that time.
Okay. I gotta mute you though, Dusty, because it just roboting background sound. It's just weird. Sorry. So, all that drama last week. I wish Dusty could talk without having that annoying roboting sound. Did you have anything to say about it? I think you dropped out early last week, Squib, because I don't know, you didn't agree with me or something. But I don't know how much of the drama you caught. I think G Webs was trolling Dusty in the lobby, and then he came on, trolled him on last week's show, and Dusty got mad, basically.
I kind of figured it out from bits and pieces. The next day, I was on early watch, and Clay was in the live chat, and he goes, "What happened with Dusty?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what happened with Dusty?" And yeah, I pieced it together from a few obscure text messages, and I went back and I watched parts of the show. I just fast forwarded through
the Bitcoin parts.
I summed it up, and I think I condensed it down into like 12 to 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So,
yeah, I think there's a potential problem with Gun Channel is an ongoing concern financially. I don't think there's a business plan that can, in the long run, support it. Steve Case had a similar problem when basically AOL. He was the CEO of AOL, and they bought Time Warner because AOL stock just was in the internet bubble on the stock market when people were just buying the internet .com stocks, and it went to over $100. So they used their market capitalization to buy Time Warner media company, and it turned out that other than when Steve Case, who was the CEO of AOL, tried to run Time Warner, well, somebody wrote a book about that called Fools Rush In, and all Steve Case's trick was he just sent out floppy disks to everybody in America with email software for AOL, and everybody signed up, and there was a .com bubble, so they had this amazing irrational exuberance on their stock market price of the stocks. People were just buying it because it kept going up, so that's why they bought it, and it kept going up, and then they bought Time Warner. But when it actually came to running a media company, that's a completely different skill set that he just wasn't prepared for. And so Time Warner, basically, it became obvious to every employee that AOL was not prepared to run Time Warner as a business. And so maybe G-Web is having a similar problem, that there's the business model. I mean, how's he making enough money to keep it up?
I've talked to him some on air, off air about it in the past, and I had a few ideas for how he could turn it into something where, it could be a source of income for him and maybe a couple other people. And I mean, enough that he could live off of it and do whatever he wanted and all that. But that going in that direction isn't what he wants to do with it. Okay, well, it ain't mine; it's yours. So do whatever you want.
It is. It is G-Web's creation.
Yeah,
It's all his.
If
it's
he
not
chooses to not do what could be done with it to make money, it's his to do with as he wants.
My 2 cents on how to make money with gun channels and have it pay for itself would be to put in the Coin Hive JavaScript running in the background. To basically what that does is it generates Bitcoin. It uses the instead of ads like Google does if there's a monetized video. What it does is if somebody was to click on to any gun channels page, it would run this JavaScript in the background, and it like uses the processing power on their computer to mine Bitcoin. And basically, so he would get Bitcoin deposited to his account. So if like 1,000 people clicked on the lobby to watch somebody yell at somebody else about whether a Glock or 1911 was better, or 45 ACP was much better than 9mm or something like that, then everybody who was just on gun channels would be all their computers would be generating Bitcoin for G-Webs, and he could do whatever he wanted with it. And so it's basically a background. It's like a mining JavaScript that runs in the background, and it's pretty easy to set up. But I don't really want to get into an argument, or it's his baby. He can do whatever he wants with it. I'm just on here because the Second Amendment was really important to me, and it's like when I was in the hospital, I thought, if I have to go out, at some point in the future, I would like to know that I did something to help keep Americans free, keep this particular freedom for America, and to help, because I figure that kind of makes the whole planet just a little bit freer. And so I feel like it's a little more effective if I do that on gun channels. So that's why I'm here. That's why we'll post the Firearms Policy Coalition stuff. And I've met a lot of people here that have made me better and gotten some knowledge that I needed. And I've got to meet Sean from Florida Carry, and I signed up with Florida Carry. I would have never known anything about Florida Carry if it wasn't for being on gun channels. And so it's an interesting network thing. But if he has problems with going concern and stuff, then hey, running a business, it's like running a gun shop doesn't have anything to do with guns. It's paperwork. It's showing up every day. And like I was telling you about the local gun shop last week. And so I don't know how to run a website. I know how to run a business, and I don't see how you can't just have a business open and not make money. It doesn't work in the long run.
Gun channels is potentially a business that you could run from your home, that you wouldn't have to go out very often. And if he wanted to do his trips and have the website pay for it, pay his mortgage, pay his utilities, pay all his insurance, and still have money left over to take these trips, I'm sure if he had an accountant on retainer, he'd probably find a way to write off some of his expenses and blah, 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 blah.
Well, you have to have an income to write
right.
expenses and that's off again.
Channels could generate an income for more than one person. It could generate enough income to support, maybe like 3 people or something like that if it was done differently. But, once again, then it would turn into a business. And now that means when you get up in the morning, you got to get up and you got to check your website. And then, in the middle of the day, you're going to get an alert on your phone saying your website isn't working. Or before you go to bed, you're going to check your website.
Running a business is a pain in the ass.
It is. But running it out of your home is a lot better than having to fight traffic. And running out once a week to the post office with a stack of packages and, a few other things that you'd have to leave the house for work. Otherwise, you could just run it out. It's still better than you get up. You don't have to put on clothes or shave or nothing like that. You can just walk around in a robe. You can walk around in a robe, not take a shower, and everything's virtual as long as you're.
Yeah, but his dog won't mind. Oro won't mind if he doesn't take a shower.
So I'm not saying it's all rainbows and unicorns. It's not. Running a business in any, it's paperwork. It's a bunch of hassle. That's why you hire an accountant. That's why you hire or you put a lawyer on retainer. You do other things to run your business. But the whole thing about having to get up and go to a brick and mortar to run it, like if there was a Gun Channel's office and he had to drive an hour to it one way, and he had to pay for all.
I did that I had a 10-year lease in Burbank. I did that.
That's a hassle. What if you were able to do it out of your house and you could do everything over the phone or over a computer? And
I would just set myself up at the beach and never go anywhere. And people could just come do stuff at the beach, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
There are some businesses or some jobs that you can do out of the home. This is
my business.
Running a web page you can do out of a home.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want people to be surprised if at some point in the future that there's just a 404 website not found for gun channels, and then we all get thrown back onto YouTube trying to blindly reach out to other gun channel kind of people and create relationships the old-fashioned reach blunt way on YouTube, and because it costs money to keep this stuff going.
Right, but over time, though, you get other people's contact information, their emails, their cell numbers, stuff like that. And if they got yours and things like that, even if they change their email address or their cell phone number, or they move or something they can just send email to all their contacts. Go, hey man, I got a new phone number. Here it is. Blah 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 or whatever. But I mean, the whole thing is. The friendships that have been built over gun channels, if gun channels were to fail, there's enough of us who know where enough of us are that we can get a hold of each other, and you don't need to use gun channel to do a hangout or to send an email or whatnot, but it does make it kind of convenient.
Yeah, well, that's how the world is. Give us convenience or give us death. I mean, that's why I can't eat pizza or go to Jack in the Box, because it is death or convenience, and giving up some convenience is better than dying. So, but this isn't life or death yet on gun channels. So I got nothing but, if Dusty is angry at G-Webs, I will say I reserve my anger for my enemies, and G-Webs is my friend, not my enemy. I don't have to agree with him on everything. I don't have to agree with how he runs gun channel. I'm not here for him. I'm here for, because I really think that it's great to grow up I was born in a free country, and I'd like it to stay that way when I go out, and I'd like more of the world to be free. And it seems kind of corny and big deal, but I don't know. That's just me.
Well, some people in the world don't want to be free, so it's all right. There's plenty of freedom to go around over here. So,
yeah, we got freedom fries, freedom cakes, and lots of freedom. But it's always being infringed a little here and there on I don't consider Dianne Feinstein my enemy, but she's a crazy old politician that wants to infringe everyone's rights, but she's not like an enemy or something. It's just she's nuts, and she hasn't read the Constitution or something, and doesn't care about people's rights. But I'm not mad at G-Webs. I know, but I know what it's like. I have a sense of the history of gun channels, although I wasn't here as long as other people have been. It's a lot of it has been a lot of harsh lobby chats and or shows where it's basically people yell and scream at each other, and it's like people on the internet. It's like when you're driving by on a freeway and everybody slows down to see the accident, and it gets lots of views, it gets lots of eyeballs, that kind of stuff. And it was better when it was easier for everybody when Google was still paying out for that kind of stuff. But now if you have something that says guns in it, then they just take you off of their radar for advertising money. So I don't monetize my chats anymore, although I don't know, it's just like not worth it, pain in the ass to deal with Google censorship. But anyway, I did want to just in the video description there is a link to the Firearms Policy Coalition. I don't think there's the one for the ammo ban. There's the one for if you want to support the National Reciprocity Act 2017. There's a link where you could just click on it and that generate an email to your senator, congressman, and they'll know you're out there, whether they decide to listen to you or not. I don't know. All right. There was something I disagreed with Squib on about that movie, The Great Escape, that I wanted to talk about for a minute.
Wait, hold up. BC Truck says, I would monetize my own colonoscopy because I'm an AdSense whore.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't watch it. So, man. I was going to say that I had saw something on American Heroes channel a few weeks back on American German U-boat prisoners. I think it was U-136 that were prisoners in Arizona, and they escaped, and they were all recaptured, and nobody shot them. And like 10 chats ago, wherever you said that, well, Americans would shoot Nazis if they escaped, but they did escape and they didn't shoot them. They just sent them right back to the camp. They caught the U-boat commander in Arizona, in Phoenix, at a I think at a restaurant or at a bus stop. I forget which it was, but there was an escape in a prisoner of war camp, and nobody shot them. And I don't think the American prisoners who were depicted in the movie The Great Escape with Steve McQueen and James Garner and Richard Attenborough, I don't think they were shot while trying to escape. They were murdered by the Gestapo. They weren't just, oh, there they are, let's shoot them. They were rounded up, and instead of being returned to the prison camp like the Americans did, they were Nazis and they were executed. They weren't shot while trying to escape. They may have wrote it down, shot while trying to escape, but they were murdered. And I don't think that's what American soldiers did. So now that I fixed that from 10 weeks ago or whoever chat that was, I don't even think, was that on Oiley's or something? Well, that's how things get on people. When people go into the lobby, they argue about stuff that happened a year or two ago, and they're still pissed off. And so it can get out of control really crazily. And because people are still mad about stuff that happened 5 years ago that everybody else has forgotten about. But everybody, as soon as people start yelling and screaming at each other, it's like, oh, it's a drive-by, there's drama, and people's brains will explode or something live on YouTube. So let's watch that. And I don't know, that's entertainment, I guess. But it would be nice if gun channels could be kept up for the Second Amendment community and all those people that just want to exercise their rights that are being infringed, and be able to take their children to a range and teach them how to shoot a .22 without the state hunting enforcement division coming out and saying, that's not a hunting round, and seizing everybody's weapons for just teaching your kids how to target shoot or stuff like that. Like every state has its own unique set of politicians trying to infringe their citizens' rights in their own ridiculous way.
This is where we need the drop of G going, shall not be infringed.
Wait, I missed that. Can you say that again?
Shall not be infringed. That's the way he says it. Night Strike's got a drop for G-Webs, and he's, how Night Strike's always going, shall not be infringed. The G-Web just goes, shall not be infringed. Yeah, he plays it on it. I think he's got it on his phone or whatnot.
I thought G-Webs just had all the Red Dawn clips. Truth and the Freedom Until Dawn, and John Has a Long Mustache, which was originally from The Longest Day. But
Red Dawn is the movie that best explains what the Second Amendment is really about.
I don't know about that. But I don't want to get into a movie debate with you because you'll lose.
Yeah. I'll be like, nope, didn't see it. Nope, didn't see it. Nope, didn't see it. What did we watch? What did we watch?
But did you see the movie The 300 where?
Oh yeah, we saw. Yeah. We just saw 2 or 3 nights ago. We saw Kill Bill Volume 1 for the first time. So.
Got a lot of catching up to do, dude. But hey, I still got my Glock in it.
Oh, wait, I went to a movie. I went to a family-friendly movie over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, what'd you see?
Wonder.
Wonder Woman?
No, just Wonder. It's one of those ones where it's one of those family type movies. It's not an action adventure. It actually wasn't bad. I'm not into the sappy drama stuff, but it wasn't that bad. So,
all right. I'm sure there's something else that we could disagree about that we can let's see. Oh yeah, the whole thing with the drama on Oiley's chat. It's like weird. First there was drama on Oiley's chat, then there was drama on my chat, and I had nothing to do with it. I mean, G-Webs just rolled in and started text trolling Dusty, I guess, and then Dusty.
Are you looking for drama? Is that?
No, I'm not. But I did. What happened was over the weekend, there was a show on American Heroes channel about the Zoot Suit riots in Los Angeles, and I think you should watch it. It was interesting. Basically, the U.S. military was banned. The admirals and generals declared Los Angeles off limits for military personnel because in World War II, the police and politicians wanted to give the impression that they were doing something, and they had already locked up all the Japanese citizens of Japanese ancestry in internment camps,
including George Takei.
Well, Sulu, they locked up Sulu. Oh no. I think they had over Thanksgiving they had a 3-day Star Trek marathon too. I caught a few of those, but the American Heroes channels, it wasn't the teenage kids that in the zoot suits who were basically Mexican children, 13 to 15 years old, who like to listen to jazz and wear cloth suits, which are called zoot suits. They didn't have a riot. It was the military that went through Los Angeles, and they felt disrespected by these kids, and so they pulled them up, rounded them up they just go into a movie theater, turn on the lights. Anybody that was dark skinned got pulled out. They got their clothes by force out of the movie theater, out of restaurants. They were thrown out into the street. They got their clothes ripped off and burned, and they got the crap beat out of them. And and it started out as just in between the Navy and it was based. I mean, you really ought to watch that show if you could find it on the American Heroes channel about the Zoot Suit riots in Los Angeles.
I know the song by Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
All right. So I'm not going to be serious about this anymore. It's worth watching, but it's history. God, I watched too much of that shit. This is a bunch of John Wayne stuff on. Boy, I got some texts from Batjack JW. He moved from Hawaii to Arizona. He's got a pretty decent YouTube channel. He used to run one of the hunting store / gun shop that's like I could almost throw a stone at it from my condo. It's just on the other side of the street. And but he moved to Arizona, and he misses Hawaii. But because he grew up here, he was born here, as far as I know, and he was here when I got here. So and I've been here for about 15 years. So it was interesting to hear from him. I hadn't talked to him in a while, and so we just texted back and forth for a bit after last week's show. And he said he was drawn to Arizona because of the studios. One of the sets, the Old West sets, where I think they shot the High Chaparral TV show back in the 50s with Leif Eriksson and who played Uncle Buck, Cameron Mitchell, and I always liked he had that armband, that ammo armband that was really cool.
Streaming for one here.
Streaming for what's that?
I don't know this movie.
It's not a movie. It was a television episodic series. You never saw the High Chaparral?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, have you ever seen Hogan's Heroes? I mean,
Hogan. Yes.
Okay.
Did you ever see?
I live in Hawaii, and this girl at one of the dental assistants at my dentist's office. I mean, this is Hawaii, and she had never seen the original Hawaii 5-0 with Jack Lord, and I was like, wait a minute, you live in Hawaii, you've never seen the original Hawaii 5-0? She's like, no. I'm like, man, I am just getting old. I guess it's just me. Tell me you've seen the original Hawaii 5-0, please. All right, so gun channel stuff. Raphael got some. You were telling me in the pre-chat about Raphael, and he got like another. He's building 3 ARs or something.
No, he got a second complete AR, so he's got 2 complete, and he's got a lower. So he's talking about doing a build. He was thinking maybe 7.62 by 39. So yeah, I mean he's already got the. I think he's got an AK and an AMD 63. So he's already got 2 rifles in that caliber. I mean, you know what it's like. So once you've already got that caliber, it makes it a lot more affordable. So.
Yeah, it's efficient it's to have more than one rifle with the same caliber, and it has multiple efficiencies on carrying ammo. The military does the same thing. It's like they want everybody in NATO to have the same 9mm handgun or whatever, and that's why they all had 9mm standard, NATO standard, just standardization of everything. So. Sometimes it dumbs everything down to the lowest common denominator, but that's the military, I guess, and the world for corporate America, for that matter. I'm going to check the live chat and see what's happening outside there besides the colonoscopy comment. Let's see. John Z, New Throne Clay.
Yeah, they're having some sort of a lover spat or something.
I see a lot of message retracted and stuff. I mean, I don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to try and. I can't even figure out what I'm supposed to be mad. I don't remember who I'm supposed to be mad at on gun channels. Okay, but whatever. Book him, Dano. Well, yeah, we have Dano. I mean, on gun channels had a Dano. I mean, is he still? Does Dano still show up for the Daily Gun Show?
He might have been on today. I was talking to him during and after the early watch today, and he jumped out. So I don't know if he got a link and he jumped in or not, because I stayed on the off-air hangout with Sean, and then I had stuff to do around the house, so I did not catch anything later.
Yeah, so let's see. Patrick, Jesse, I'm on the cycle camp. Raphael, Jesse James, 10mm. Seeing who's out there on both sides of the world here.
Okay, so you mentioned Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever see the Hogan's Heroes movie?
There was a Hogan's Heroes movie?
Yeah, it's called Autofocus. It was about Bob Crane.
The real life of the actor Bob Crane. I mean,
yeah, but it did go.
I know that he got involved in some. When he died, they found like tons of porn films and stuff.
Oh yeah. Autofocus is it's about Bob Crane, but it does talk talk about the TV show and some of the behind the scenes stuff. The actor who plays Bob Crane actually is wearing the real leather jacket, the prop from the TV
that was
show.
a cool show. My father tried to explain to me that war wasn't really like that. The Germans really weren't that stupid.
The radio wasn't under the coffee pot.
Yes, the Germans weren't that dumb, really. And but the guy who played Banner, the actor who played Sergeant Schultz, he was just he filled up the screen in more ways than one. He was just the centerpiece of that show. I think Sergeant Schultz will just live on in military history somehow. It's like worse. It's better than Gomer Pyle. I know nothing. I know nothing. I see nothing. Nothing. That and boy, when I was a kid, I used to always watch that. All right, so I'm looking for something else to talk about now. The radio is under the Keurig these days. You have a Keurig?
No, I'm saying if it was Hogan's Heroes was today, if that was today, the radio wouldn't be under the coffee pot. It'd be under a Keurig. They wouldn't dig a tunnel. They'd play Minecraft. Modern day Hogan's Heroes is.
Oh, yeah, it would be different. That's for sure. I mean, obviously, my underground would be I have to have a lava tube to build my underground.
Look, I still think the lava tube is a better investment than that damn pool.
Well, for me to get that pool, I mean, it's right now that place is listed for $70 million. The place with the infinity pool on the bluffs. I would love to get that place, but I don't think Bitcoin, and it, like I said earlier, it's not a question of how high Bitcoin will go. It's a question of how the fiat currencies will fall, and in their buying power. And so we'll just see. But I mean,
the money's not going to be worth a lot if people keep buying these damn fiats. Sorry, Sean, but even though the headquarters is right over my shoulder, I'm not big on them little cars.
Fiat currency. It's not a fiat car. Fix it again, Tony. No. Well, that's what they do with the currency. Try and fix it again every time. That's what's dangerous about this tax cut. I mean, we need it to keep they're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't, the Republicans. Because if they pass this tax cut, they're going to have to match it. If they don't pass the tax cut, the stock market will crash. It's been going up and up and up just on hope of Donald Trump, and he's doing all the right things, right? But if they have to print up $1.5 trillion to pay for this tax cut, they're not going to just put a hole in the deficit. They're just going to print up the money, and that's like stealing the money, all the money that you have, anything that's valued in U.S. dollars, it's going to be worth less. There's going to your buying power is just going to disappear. Your wages won't go up. Your buying power will go down. And the last safe haven could be cryptocurrencies. I've got plenty of gold and silver too, but cryptocurrencies has a lot of advantage. Cryptographic. I mean, the cryptography started with the secret with the U.S. Army Signals Corps in the Civil War when they started using semaphore flags. I think at the Battle of Manassas, the Confederacy warned that the Confederacy was reading some flags of the Union, and because they had people who had worked on developing the code, and they basically sent a signal to the Confederacy that watch your left flank because the Union is coming in. And so that's why the Confederacy won the first battle of Manassas, because they could strengthen their left flank because of the signals. So cryptography is still a thing, and the military relies on it. So if the economy, I don't see why
they won the
Federal
battle
Treasury-
because the Union still didn't have an advantage in manpower and firepower and supplies and stuff like that.
Well, they won the battle because they didn't get flanked like they would have if they didn't know that the Union was
They
going.
still would have whipped them Yankees.
Well, I don't want to start arguing over the Civil War again because that isn't going to get anywhere. But I was trying to make a point that if the Defense Department uses cryptography, why can't the Treasury Department? So they will in the end.
Haven't you done your taxes? If that ain't cryptic enough, I don't know what is.
Well, they want to reduce it all down to a postcard, but generally, what my accountant who passed on used to say, if you want a simple tax system, it's very simple. You take all your you list all your assets, and then you total all of them up, and you put that total into line A. You move that number to line B, and that's how much you owe the government. So that's very simple, and the government gets everything. So deductions are great, and depreciation, different depreciation time scales are there's all those little things that CPAs make their living off of setting up and expensing, like especially if you're going to run a business, it's a big investment. You have to be able to expense all your expenses, or people would never start a business if they can't deduct their expenses, because there's no way to make money. If you have to spend $1 million to make $1 million, then you're putting all this effort and you're not going to make anything. So you have to be able to deduct your investment and expenses, and that spurs the economy. And anyway.
Thank you for that lesson.
Yeah, sorry. in all the reasons on how hard it is to run a business, and so I don't blame G-Webs for having problems, because man, I had every problem that could be had running my business. I had kinds of problems. I had so many indescribable problems that I could have never foreseen having to deal with. It was amazing. And I was around the dark side of the moon before that thing really came through and started generating incredible amounts of money. But it didn't last forever. But it was a trip. It was definitely trip in Hollywood kind of a business, although it was in Burbank, but it was a Hollywood kind of a business. But that's like ancient history from the bygone past. It's just that I hope Gun Channels finds a way to make it, but it's not. I don't have any say or control. All I can do is wish him the best of luck I can, and if he wants my opinion, which I'm sure he doesn't, then all he has to do is ask. And then we could come on to the after chat. We could just yell at each other and argue, but I don't want to do it on a live chat. But I'm sure Dusty would. So
I don't know what happened to him.
Well, I think it was
lost
the
his
combine.
signal, or what? You think he dropped his phone in the combine?
A big soybean monster said, "Stop harvesting us," and then he just grabbed his phone away. I don't know. I don't even know what a soybean plant looks like. So, do the beans grow underground, or do they grow overground? Doesn't matter. All right. Is there any new gun stuff that you've been working on?
I'm still here.
Oh, well. Why are you driving a damn tractor in the middle of the night? Have you been drinking?
Yes. I'm in my combine.
Oh, shit. I know it has it has headlights, but you're supposed to do that in the daytime.
I did it in the daytime.
Does your wife know how many beers you've had?
I haven't had any. I can't have any beer in the combine.
Oh.
I've been sitting in here since about noon today, so sitting in one spot.
Well, I thought your combine was moving around.
What was that?
I thought you were driving your combine around. That's how it looked.
I'm driving back and forth to the field, and I'm combining the beans in the rows that are in my path.
Okay.
I run those through I run them through the combine. I sort out the beans from the trash, and then I dump them in my truck so I can sell them.
You know, this reminds me. You remind me of the Magnificent Seven with Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen and James Coburn that was on the other night, and it was that scene where the old guy in the village that they're trying to save. The Yul Brynner goes and says, "We're going to take you into the village so we can protect you, and we arrange for you to stay at this farmer's house." And he says, "Oh, I don't want to talk about fertilizer. That's all farmers ever talk about is fertilizer and women." And so I thought of you.
And then every so often I get excited because I quit moving. Because they're still in mud in these fields. I fell in a couple times where I wasn't sure I was coming back out again.
All right, well. The Dusty Combine Show. At least he's not, it's a steady combine and he's not roboting. Do you have anything important to say on this show, Dusty? Because that combine sound is...
Not really, unless I can show you. Of course, I don't know. I can't figure out how to make my front camera work on this phone while I'm on Hangouts. Must be you can't.
Okay.
Otherwise, I was going to show you a video, but I'll have to tape some more video and send to you, I guess.
Yeah, text me your videos. I'll look at them. But I got to turn off your combine sound. Like, can you mute yourself? Because that combine is just the killer.
I can imagine. All right. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you. Wow. All right. Let's see. I listed the Virus Policy Coalition thing that so people can click on and do some Second Amendment activism and stuff. Talked about Raphael's AR builds. I was trying to ask Squib if he had been doing any gun stuff lately before I think he bailed, or just he gave up on the combine or something. Let me check the external really quick here. See if anything is happening on either the gun channel side or the external. I can find. Yeah, your combine is stuck in the mud, I guess. Ruben Report YouTube channel. Happens all the time. I'm just looking at what people are typing. Yeah, so I think that studio was in Tucson. Yeah, he's muted now, Squib. Yeah, it was just the background noise was very annoying, so I asked him to just mute it. Hopefully he can actually join us where we can hear what he has to say next week, I guess, or later. Let's see. Oh, you've got background noise? Well, I didn't mute you. Did you auto mute yourself or something? All right. Manassas, full run. Wait, you're talking about the Merrimack? We're going back into the Navy?
Now, the Battle of Manassas and
There were two battles of Manassas, right?
right, and there were two battles of Bull Run. It's the same place. Manassas was the nearest town. Bull Run was the creek there where the battle took place. Depending on who you ask, somebody will call it the Battle of Manassas. Somebody else will call it the Battle of Bull Run. The same thing with the CSS Virginia. It was made from the burned hull of the USS Merrimack. So some people still call it the Merrimack, but it was rebuilt and christened the Virginia by the Confederacy. So depending on who you ask, you call the ship by one name or the other. What I found was that as a southern boy going to school down south, reading them damn Yankee history books, they was written by the northern side, and that sort of thing just wasn't proper.
I feel like I should send you my copy of Birth of a Nation, but you could watch it on YouTube if you don't. I mean, like I said, if you're a black person, you will hate that movie. But it's all upside down. The Ku Klux Klan are the good guys in this movie, and the black people are the bad guys. And so it's completely upside down, but it's a historically relevant piece of cinematographic work, and done by one of the founders of the Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Science, D.W. Griffin. And you can watch it on YouTube. It's in the public domain, and you should really watch it. I mean, the ending is where Francis Ford Coppola got the cavalry charge idea for doing a air cav charge in Apocalypse Now, because there's a Ku Klux Klan cavalry charge to the Ride of the Valkyrie by Wagner, and Francis Ford Coppola stole it right out of there.
Even though I'm from down there, I never really cared much for the Klan. Sorry.
Well, it's like it's a historically, it still pisses people off that watch it and it's a historically significant movie. You'd have to be a movie buff, I think, to appreciate it as just a movie. It's for one of the first movies that had used sound to tell a story the way this did. It was, and every photograph it's called motion pictures, right? Moving pictures, but every individual photograph was like a work of art. In this whole, you could stop the frame at most of the movie. You could just hit pause if you watch it on YouTube, and it'll be like, wow, that's a beautiful piece of art, just that single frame. But there's a whole movie full of them, so it's like, yeah, nobody likes the Klan, but this is what the movie was about. His grandfather, I think his grandfather, the D.W. Griffin, the filmmaker, his grandfather fought in the Civil War. So it's definitely tells the story. If you're a black person, you will hate the story, but it's still, if you're a film buff, you'll be able to appreciate it. And if you're from the South, it may even make sense to you. But I don't know. I could see where Francis Ford Coppola I'm going to steal this ending from this movie and put it in Apocalypse Now, because when the Ku Klux Klan rides in on horses to in their robes and white hoods, to the Ride of the Valkyries, it was an impressive motion picture moment there, and you can see why he stole it and just redid it for Apocalypse Now. But yeah, I don't have any, like, I'm a Jewish film guy from LA. I don't like the Klan either, but I'm a film buff, so I appreciate the history of the movie cinematographically, because that's my thing. Anyway, not getting off on that. Is anybody doing any gun stuff? I see Dano made it out there. Wow, book him, Dano.
Okay, now that I'm not so compromised, yeah, I'm working on a couple AR assemblies.
Have you ever worked on an 80% lower? Because
Nah, I'm not a machinist. I mean, supposedly you put it in a jig, get a cordless drill, and go to town. But
a cordless drill,
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Not
with a
not.
regular drill bit, I would say you'd be better off putting it in a mill and milling it
Yeah.
properly with an end mill, and knowing what you're doing with it. And I'm not a machinist, so I don't have a problem buying something on a 44. I don't have that rat pack list like you do, but
Rat Pack. The
you know,
Rat Pack was Frank Sinatra and those guys. Rat Back.
look, if they came for my guns, they can go get them. I'll tell them exactly where they're at. They're going to be in the Grand Canyon. Go get them.
That's
So
there's a lot of gold hid that was supposedly hidden in the Grand Canyon.
no, I
From
would toss them right over the side. Be like, there you go get them.
Yeah, they all my guns sank on a boating trip. I was fishing and I thought they were lead weights or a big megalodon came by and there was a big wave and we hooked a megalodon and all the guns went over the side.
What a shame. But yeah, I've never done any of that stuff where you mill out, whether it be a polymer one or aluminum and all that stuff. I mean, it is totally possible to do that sort of thing, and there are lots of people out there who are machinists who could who could. I mean, but if you're that good of a machinist, honestly, you really don't need to mill out a lower. You could just make your own damn gun. It wouldn't matter. Oh, big deal. It don't have a serial number. I mean, you could never legally sell it, but I mean, at that, you haven't done anything illegal by making your own gun. You just can't ever sell it, you know, unless you serialize it and register it and blah, 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 blah. It's all a bunch of paperwork BS. That doesn't do anything to make anything any safer, but still, I mean, I don't have a problem with just buying the components and assembling it.
All I know about it is that you have to get the head spacing right, and I don't even know how to do that. So I don't build guns. I bought them. I'd rather pay somebody else to do it. But with all the flipping regulations that they keep passing,
Why
it's so daunting to go. I don't want to pay them $42 to be on some illegal federal Rat Pack list. They're not allowed to keep anyway, and it's like,
no, I'm not doing head spacing or drilling the hole for the gas tube and the barrel. I'm using an upper assembly and then just changing out parts on it and then taking a strip lower and assembling it and all that other stuff. So it's not really a build per se where I'm doing any setting a head space or drilling the barrel for the gas block tube, or I mean for the gas tube where the gas block is. So there are things, or if I wanted to pin and weld a flash suppressor or something to a shorter barrel to make it legal, air quotes. Those are all things that can be done, and you don't really need a gunsmith to do. Eventually, I'll probably be buying just barrels and building the uppers, component by component instead of buying them and then just changing out things. But
yeah, that's what's one of the gun laws that when they passed that when they introduced that law for that Dianne Feinstein wanted to about gun parts that affect the rate of fire of a rifle. It would basically, if I got a new Tavor assembly, trigger assembly, like if I got the Gazelle trigger, that would make it that would be like something illegal if they passed that law. And see, I don't know what's going to happen in the Alabama election. John Z said the government regulations are a legal way for the government to steal from us. Government regulations are a legal way for the government to control us. They want to maintain control. They tax us to steal from. Taxation is theft. But I think in the Revolutionary War, they used to say that no taxation without representation. They didn't want to pay the British tea tax, the stamp tax, the whiskey tax, whatever. But what it turned out, what the Continental, when they had to pay for things like the Army, the representatives in Congress didn't raise any money, and they said, well, without taxation, there will be no representation. But it's really gotten completely out of control at this point. We've been around for 200 and how many years has America been around for? My math is over 200 years, and it's there was part of the Constitution. The problem is there's part of the Constitution that says all money was supposed to be silver or gold. The founding fathers did not want this whole banking system, this United States Bank of the United States, Federal Reserve. They were against all that stuff because they knew what happened with the Continentals, and it's just a way for the governments, the bankers, just steal the people blind. Jedi mind trick. No, that I was saying that I thought was that you that I was having that discussion with on the text squib about the Bitcoin being the most disruptive economic force. And so I was telling you to use the force. So I was telling G-Webs, put in a coin hive JavaScript and collect all the Bitcoin in the background of every gun channel's page.
See, if I want a disruptive force, I want the most powerful destructive force in a galaxy, the Death Star. So I know.
You'll have to settle for Bitcoin.
Times, but I don't know.
You'll have to settle for Bitcoin. Maybe I could get a Bitcoin symbol painted on my sword.
So what does the actual coin look like?
It's a cryptographic, mathematical algorithm.
But to you, what is it? Close your eyes.
I don't have to close my eyes. I can just open instead of closing my eyes, I could just open my wallet and there'll be something there. And when you open your bank account, if fiat currency goes down, there won't be anything. The banks won't be open. You will have to go to Dusty's farm to eat his soybeans. Let's check out my blockchain wallet. I don't have $1 million in there yet. And I invested $800, right? And so I'll just punch it up real quick. Drum roll, please. Hopefully the IRS isn't looking. Let's see. So was it in September that I invested $800, right? And let's see if I can hit the screen share button.
Seems like you've been talking about it forever.
See, I've been talking about it forever. Sorry, man. There it is. Can you see that?
I'm busy back and forth between two screens and texting about continental dollars.
Okay.
I mean, that's where all my money's tied up.
Continentals?
Not worth one.
Anyway, I don't seem to be able to make that work on the screen share. So anyway, so the $800 investment is $1,856.11 at this particular moment, value in fiat currency. But I'm perfectly happy with it in Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Ether, Litecoin. And I've got a Faucet Hub account. And I have the Bitcoin Miner app, which you can get at the, if anybody's interested, you could just, if you have Windows 10, you can go to the Windows Store and download the app for free and hit start mining. You just need a Bitcoin address for it to send your Bitcoin to. But it'll take a long time to get a whole Bitcoin just with a laptop and not a professional mining rig. But
you can take a dollar bill and a color copier and make money faster.
They tried to do that. They arrested somebody for passing fake currency on the Big Island at like a McDonald's and a swap meet. And they have the Treasury Department, the FBI, because they have to protect the concept of money, of the dollar, of this thing that they've created. And why do they have to protect it? Because they violated the Constitution. This country would be so much better off if we just stuck to the Constitution, which says that the only money that is real is minted coin of gold and silver. And so these fiat currency notes that they just keep printing more of and more of. That's the problem with the tax cuts is that they need to print up $1.5 trillion to make it work, or add it onto the debt. Same thing, and that just debases the currency even farther. And who knows? I can't. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's scary times. I'm hoping it all works out, but I try to be prepared. You know, I'm kind of a prepper, so do my best in that regard. All right. Unless Dano has anything he wants to say about gun channels, that he's been around here a lot longer than me. So I would respect whatever he had to say about it, if he had any input. But I think we pretty much covered all the topics of the show. We covered there's an ammo ban bill that you can, I'll add that to the video description, but right now what's in the video description is the link to the, if you want to support the National Reciprocity Carry Act of 2017, you could go into there's a link to the firearms policy. There's a take action link by the Firearms Policy Coalition. So I did my Second Amendment good deed for the day. Because freedom isn't free, it's important. And it's worth fighting for. America's worth fighting for. All the best parts of it. There's some bad parts, but there's some good stuff about America, and it's worth fighting for. It's a pretty damn good country when you have a list of what the government can't do to the people, and the government has to ask you for permission and not the other way around. So anything else we can talk about before we wrap this one up?
Not sure. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. You know, they're always bashing Trump in the news.
What else is new? There's that thing about the consumer protection board or something where Trump has his he appointed someone to run it, and the Obama appointee won't leave. She filed a lawsuit that claiming that she still should be in charge. So far, I mean, the state of Hawaii Attorney General will sue Trump administration for anything. Oh, Night Strike sent me a message. It says, "You're rich again. Bitcoin went up. You can finally move to Arizona." And I don't want to move to Arizona. My parents might move there, but that's up to them, not me. I think, as I tried to explain to Backjack, my parents don't listen to me. If I give them a piece of advice, they don't listen. And the reverse is true. I don't listen to them. So what if they can make their own decisions. How they want to live and where they want to live. There will be a problem with the California, and I guess people in New York are going to have they're not going to be able to deduct their very high state taxes on their federal tax returns. So, all right, I'm going to call this show. I'm going to bring out my sword one more time. What?
Jesse James says, from what I read, looks like the story about Moore was fake and it was a sting attempt.
I don't know what happened 40 or 50 years ago. I wasn't there.
Oh. Was this about, is he talking about that judge or something?
The guy that's running, there's a guy that's running for the Alabama Senate seat, and the Democrats want to flip a red state blue. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if the girl is telling the truth or not of what happened 40 or 50 years ago. I don't remember where I was 40 or 50 years ago. How are we supposed to know? I do know that the Democrats would like to flip a red state blue and take the majority away from the Senate, and then good luck passing the concealed reciprocity, CCW reciprocity, or any pro-gun legislation if the Democrats take control of the Senate. So I think Trump is just saying, we don't want another Democrat. We don't want to lose the Senate and have it, because nothing will get done at all. I mean, I don't know. God bless Donald Trump. He's trying to do the right thing, but this country is really messed up. I don't. 6 ways from Sunday. It's not like Al Franken is going to step down from. Forget what he's from, Minnesota, or is that? But you really,
yeah. I think Franken's from Minnesota.
yes, I don't know. I don't know what he's all about, but I think they say that there too. You know what that picture that Franken took was like on the USO tour with that where he's like quasi fake molesting a lady who's sleeping and unconscious. He was just an actor and from Hollywood. And like basically, if you've never lived in Los Angeles, it shouldn't be called Los Angeles. It should be called Las Putas, because that town is a city of whores. And I don't mean just women. I mean business, the way the whole town is run. People will do anything to get ahead. It's like driving on having driven to work every day. It's like when you drive to work on the 101 or down the 405, God help you. It's like, did you see that scene in the beginning of Office Space where you get in one lane, where Peter Gibbons gets in one lane and because he thinks it's faster, and then the cars go back faster in the other lane, and then he switches back, and then the cars go faster. It's always going faster in the lane that town, everybody's always trying to get ahead, and they will do anything to get one car ahead. And it's like, if the traffic does speed up, if you're going 70 miles an hour on the freeway, somehow by some miracle, there will be somebody on your bumper going 70 miles an hour, like 1 foot away. And if you have to hit the brakes, there's going to be a traffic accident, and everybody will stop and want to watch what happened to you. No, that town is just, I don't know. But when you're a congressman, I guess ladies have come forward saying that he's touched them or something. So I don't know. Being an actor, actors get treated like cash cows, basically sacred cows, because stars are what make the movie industry go around. You can't do anything without a star attached to your film. And I guess he was in a few movies or something, so he used to be a big cheese. But that's how they treat actors. They can do anything to anyone and get away with it, because everybody needs them, and they know it. But not all actors are like that. I mean, there's a lot of very respectable people in the business. It's just that most of them aren't, but a lot of them are. So you have to be able to sort through. You have to be able to judge the people that you're dealing with and figure out what kind of people they are in that town. Basically,
you've got to be able to figure out what you're dealing with in any situation. You know, it's like when you walk in at a coroner's office and you go, "This was no boating accident."
What film was that from? I cannot plead.
It was Jaws. He was judging the situation.
Oh, right. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Okay, gun channels. You're gonna need a bigger boat. God bless America. We'll see you all. I wanted to show my sword one more time before we.
Now, is it real? Is it a sword or is it a dagger?
This is a sword, man. It's fucking huge. You could really. I'm gonna try and get a shield built for it. I mean, get back onto the page where I can hit the camera button. All right, hey everybody. It's in the sheath here. There's the handle. Right. So here it is. This is Sparta. Right. Here's my hand, so you can kind of get an idea of how big this thing is. It's really heavy forward weighted, so it's a real swinger because it's. I mean, yeah, it's sharp on this one edge here. This is a false edge here, but it's all the weight is forward, so you could definitely. It's kind of like a cross between a hammer and a sword, because even if you hit somebody upside down with this side that's not sharp, you'll hurt them. So this is the kind of stuff they used before firearms. It was great in that movie, and it was on sale. I couldn't believe how cheap this was. It's a high carbon steel blade. It was $20 off of Bud K, and I was just not going to pass on this for $20. I would have passed on it for $100, but not for $20. I had to have it. So anyway, that's oh, I was going to ask before we go, what did everybody get for? Did anybody get anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? I bought a I think Live Wild. I got a new tarp, camping tarp, with reinforced tie outs. It's 9 feet by 9 feet, and it was like $80. So that was my Black Friday buy. $80 on an extra camping tarp. It was a nice one. It's that they had a light version and a heavy version. The light version was like 60 denier, and the heavy one that I got was like 200 denier. And it weighs a little more, obviously. But it seemed tougher, and I think it looked like a pretty decent tarp for camping out. And so that was my. Did you get any stuff, Squib, for Black Friday at all, or?
Yes, but it's all classified.
Okay, it's all classified. I understand. But anyway, this I got before Cyber Friday, but when it was on sale, I couldn't pass on it. They have a version of this that looks a little more aged, like in the movie, but it was. I heard that the reviews on YouTube said the handle was loose, and this handle seems better than the one I've heard described on the YouTube reviews. So this is a slightly different version. This has the black paint on it on most of the blade, and it's basically, like I said, it's weighted forward. So when you swing it, you've got all this weight of the blade. It's not like a samurai sword, because the front it's heavy, it's front loaded, and if you swing this at something, it's gonna fuck it up bad. So it's a weapon, but for me it's just a collector's item. Maybe if I can find something to swing up, I'm gonna go to the butcher shop and see if he'll let me swing this at something, at some bones or some meat or something. There's a new butcher shop where the Domino's pizza used to be by here in Kona, just like right in back of our condo. Anyway, I'm gonna just check and see if anybody on the external bought anything. So let me have a quick look over there. If I can find it. The external.
He got a toilet repair kit.
You bought a toilet repair kit on Black Friday? Dude. Well, I guess it's better than having a broken toilet, but
yeah, I guess so. I mean, just one day out of the year you can get a good deal on plumbing parts.
Why is my hat small? Because I have a big head.
No, I think your head must have got bigger. Then maybe it started swelling after Bitcoin went over 9,000, because your hat does look smaller.
Yeah, well, it does.
Did you stick it in the wash and shrink it?
No. I didn't. I haven't even taken it out in the rain. Let me check on the gun channel side, see if anybody bought anything. If I can find the gun channel side. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I see Patrick. Enterprise B Excelsior class. That's you.
Yeah, he was talking about the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise, and I thought he was talking about the Starship.
Well, an aircraft carrier would be easier to build, but I would really think we should build those Imperial Walkers. Because look, the new Ford class carrier has plasma weapons, right? And so if we could just build a scaled down version of those and install it into some Imperial Walkers, and those walkers were impervious to bullets or artillery shells or tank shells, then it would be an unstoppable armor. Those Imperial Walkers were pretty tough in The Empire Strikes Back. So
they would be a force to be reckoned with.
Like Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin almost hit 10,000 today, and it feels good to have a little bit of it. So a little bit of that disruptive force. So we'll see you guys. Hope everybody's happy with their. I also got some freeze-dried peaches from Bud K because they were less than $20.
I bought the Mountain House chili.
Oh, you did? I haven't had that one. I haven't had the chili. What do you think?
I didn't try it. I just bought it. I put it down on my reload bench, and I figured I'll have it as a snack sooner or later.
You just bought one package of it, or like
just one in the hunting section at Walmart. It's like $5, $4, something like that.
I was at Walmart last time. I was at Walmart yesterday. They moved. I don't know if they removed the Mountain House section in the out. It used to be in the outdoor section, or they moved it, but I didn't see it, and I'm gonna have to go and yell at them because I always used to go and buy one or two every time. To add to my stash every time I went, and now I'm gonna have to buy everything off the internet and buy number 10 cans, I guess, of it. But I got the Bud K had like a box of 6 or 9 of the Mylar packs of freeze dried peaches, so I just got a box of that. And it was like $20 too. So I got the sword for $20, some freeze dried peaches to add to my food stash in case the shit hits the fan and the boat's stuck coming to the Hawaii, the Big Island. Anyway, so I'll see all you guys next week. Thanks for coming in and tuning into my show. I really appreciate it. And if you can, go on that Firearms Policy Coalition and page and fill out that form. I would appreciate it. Let's do our bit for Second Amendment activism and keep America free. See you next week.